Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, just a quick little update on my fig trees. I'm out here with my boy Tux. We've had to do a lot of shuffling around. I had 3 big trees in my front of my house that I had to have removed because they were dead. This here would be my Chicago Hardy. And I've already gotten quite a few figs off her this year, and she's still producing. She's doing good. And then down there, it's my little I-258 graft. And it's been on there for months. You can see the graft took just fine. It's very, very tight. There's no wiggling. It just hasn't budded yet. But this is I-258, and I-258 and Smith have both been my nemesis, and they are so hard to get going. But we'll see if this graft will work better than my cuttings have tried, because I have failed on all my cuttings with I-258 and Smith. Over here, we have my Olympian, and I've got a ripe fig in the refrigerator, ready to be tasted here real soon. But I've had a few off this tree so far. So anyway, that's the Olympian, and she's still putting on quite a bit of figs too. I'm getting figs here and all back inside, but she's so full of vegetation, it's just hard to see them all. But man, this is really a pretty plant. I really like my Olympian plant. Nice and full. But wait till you see the crown on my Nixon Peace fig after pinching that apical bud. I mean, that thing is crazy. All right, hang on one second. Let's get up front. This is where things are going to start to look different. As you can see, that big tree's down. That was one of them. Big tree back over there was my ash. That's down. Ash beetle's got a hold of that one. See, this here's my Peter's honey. She's doing good. She's looking good and healthy. My LSU strawberry. She got a big old haircut. Took some air layers off of her a little while ago. So now I got her going up here a single liter. And she's putting on some figs. And we'll come around over here. And this here would be my Adriatic JH, or JH Adriatic. And you can see she's putting on some figs too. And these Adriatics, I think, are a little later season, so these will probably hopefully be ripening up in the next month or so. Over here I have my Celeste. And I'm not sure if I'm getting any figlets on her, but I'm getting some double bumps. Oh, possibly there might be its first figlet. Let's see here. We'll come up over here. This here's my Thermalito. And she's putting on some figs, a couple here and there. She's getting started. There's another one there. Doing an air layer on her, if anybody's interested in a Thermalito. Over here we got my Sussac. And she's just now starting to put on some figlets, as you can see. And just so you know, I have zero problems with ants. None. I've used coffee grounds, and I use cayenne pepper. But that's only good when it's not wet. So after it rains or after you water, you gotta do something else. So I also have these I think it's hidden down in there. Those are just little marigolds coming up. I planted some marigold seeds. But anyway, I forgot what I was going to say because senior moment. Anyway, so that's my Sussac. Over here we have my Robert's Golden Rainbow. thing's getting huge. And she's getting figs all the way up the top. This is a big plant. I'm gonna have to air layer that bottom one off. And over here we have my Coldedom grease. Got the air layer going on there. She's got figs coming in. We'll start down here on this end. Got the GE Neri. She's not putting out any figs yet, but the plant's looking nice and healthy. So here's one of my newest plants, and she's grown like gangbusters since I got her. This here is a Black Celeste. And she's actually putting on some figs. And then next to her over here, we have my Black Madeira KK. You can see the new growth on her. She's just slow growing, but she's new this season. And I've got a couple little figs on the Black Madeira. And over here is my White Madeira, number 1. Got a couple figs on her. I don't know if that'll get much more, and it is an Adriatic, and they're later ripening, so it could be a little bit later. But I ended up taking the tops off of here, these two, and did a couple green tip cuttings. I got them going to hopefully get them propagated. Over here is my long date. And I got some air layers going on her. Next to that, let's see, what is this one? I moved things around. I believe this is my yellow long neck. Yeah, this here's my yellow long neck, and it hasn't done much at all this year. No fruits, but she is putting out new growth, new shoots, some couple suckers. So maybe we'll get something off that, and then I'll propagate those. Over here is my Ronde Bordeaux. I pinched her, and she crowned on the top beautifully. Her figs are starting to change colors. As you can see, I'm going to do a big air layer here, so that top will be its own little tree. And then I'll start from here. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully this big air layer will take. That's going to make a nice little tree once it's done. And then over here where I had to have my ash cut down, and over there I had about a 50-foot pine cut down because it was girdled and it was about 3/4 of the way dead. So anyway, this here is the Nixon Peace Fig. And you can see I'm air layering the suckers off the bottom. But check out this crown after pinching the apical bud right here. Look at this crown on top. It's hard to get. Let me see if I put this half picture maybe. If I could get it all in. But it's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perfect crowns, and they're all about 2.5 foot long right now. And I pushed it straight up, so this here will turn more into a tree after I took the other 2 air layers off of it earlier. Over here, this here is my Negre de Agde. I don't know what's going on. I moved it into the shade. It's not lack of water, that's for sure. I don't think it's too much water, but this thing wilted about 3 days ago, and everything wilted. They're not dried up. The leaves still feel nice and viable, but they're just wilted down. Maybe it's having some problems with uptaking the water. I don't know, but if anybody has any suggestions, please let me know. Let's see. Here in the center, this here would be my Violet de Bordeaux. I've taken a few cuttings or a few air layers off her, and I still got a couple more going. So after the Nixon Peace Fig over here, we got my Desert King. You can see I'm getting some main crop on my Desert King, which means I should get Breba next year, so that's what I'm looking forward to. See over here, I have my Hollier or Houlier or Olier or however you pronounce it. I took a couple air layers off her the other day and some green tip cuttings, but she's doing good. And it looks like I'm starting to get my first little figlets off of her. And here's one up over here. And then next to that is my LSU Gold. No figlets on her yet, but she's still looking happy and healthy. And then right here we have my Texas BA1. This is one that I was really worried about at the beginning of the year, but she's taken off and she's doing fine. Next is the Texas BA1 here is my Black Mission. That's a pretty plant too. And I think I've already taken all the air layers off her, so I got to get a few more started. And then this here finally would be my Delson Wami Grand. And I've taken the air layers off of her already. And I got those down in the basement. So we'll check on those in a little bit, along with a couple other trees I have growing in there. So we'll see you in a few. All right, here we are down in the basement, my little grow tent. And right here up front, we have my Planera. This is one of my newest ones that I just got. And then back behind her is my Atriano. It's the other newest one I got this with the Planera. And she's already putting on like 4 or 5 figs, which is crazy because she's only been in here like 2 or 3 weeks since I got her. Back over here in the back corner is my little BNR, or Bordeaux Negro Ramada. Then up here in this corner is a green Ashia. And then I got some air layers here that I had taken. Let's see, a Black Mission, a Chicago Hardy, 2 more Black Missions. This here would be a Ronde de Bordeaux, and that there would be an LSU Strawberry. And that's what I got going on in my little grow tent right now. We'll take you into the little propagation room here in the basement. Okay, we're in a little propagation room, and it is very messy in here. I was working in here a lot last night and this morning. So these are my green summer tip cuttings that I did the triple cut method. These are ones that I've up potted. They're doing well. All these here, I got the tops off of them, but they're not up potted yet. But they're still doing good. Matter of fact, the roots are turning yellow on this thing, so they're hardening off, I guess. But they still seem to be doing pretty good. So up here, these 3 are the LSU Strawberry. These 3 right here are the Ronde de Bordeaux. The 3 behind it are Longue des Hoots. Now these ones lost their leaves. I up potted them and they lost their leaves. But it's still alive. The stem's still green and the apical bud's still intact. Just keep it covered there to keep the humidity in. Same with this one. Lost its leaves. Everything's still green. The apical bud still looks fine, so I'm not worried about it. Those are my Longue des Hoots. And then back here is the Col de Dame Gris. Same thing. Losing leaves. But it's okay because the apical bud's fine. The stem's still green and pliable. And the roots are good on it. Same with this one. I think all my Col de Dames lost their leaves. Yes. But that's okay. Like I said, they're still alive for right now anyway. They're green and the apical buds look great. So everything is good. But these ones here, none of them lost their leaves. They're doing fantastic. Then over here are some newer ones. They're all different ones. I think this one here is a Delson Wami Grand. This here is Black Celeste, Col de Dame Gris. Col de Dame Gris lost their leaves, but everything's still good. Here's an Olympian. And then back here in the back, I have my Nixon Peace Figs. And they're doing fine, and they're keeping their leaves, but they're at the point where they just took their lids off. So I'm just giving a little bit of air and put the lids back on, but the lids aren't coming off permanent yet. Same with back here. Nixon Peace Fig, you can see they're doing well. Then over here's my little Genovese narrow cutting that I'm trying to root. Got a little bud showing on her. I had one of my green Ischias, and let me see what I got here. Oh, my I-258, the cuttings that I had rooted, and I got rooted in my fig pot bags. I got them, they were rooted nicely. I put them into these cups. They died. The whole bottom rotted off of both the green Ischia and the I-258. So I started cutting up the stalk, taking off all the rotten stuff. I ended up at the very top with 2 nodes left on both of the I-258 and the green Ishia that still had some green cambium. So I up potted them. I got 1 node in the soil and 1 node out, both for the green Ishia and the I-258. Then over here are just some air layers that I took off. This here's my Holier. These back 2 here are Nixon Peace Figs from air layer. And this one here is a Delson Wami Grand air layer. And that's it for my inside right now. So that's all the propagation I got going on at the moment. All right, we'll catch up with you with the fig tasting. All right, I'm back for the last part of this here little taste test. I've got my 11-year-old granddaughter with me, and she is going to be editing this video because I do not know what I'm doing. So Little Miss Nora Productions is gonna take over this video and get it all ready to go on YouTube for me. But right now, I'm gonna give Nora a taste test. You wanna take one of those, Nora?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm gonna take one. We'll give this a bite. Ah, it's sweet, it's jammy, no seed crunch.
Tastes a tad bit of honey.
Yeah, it does taste a tad bit of honey, don't you? This one's supposed to taste like honey and peaches when it gets ripe, but right now this one tastes more like honey and maybe like a melon, like a honeydew. Maybe like a honeydew melon, huh? You can eat the whole skin too, Nora. You don't have to just eat the inside. Mmm. Very good. All right, guys, that's it there for the Olympian taste test. Y'all have a great day.